What's up, ballers? Welcome to the episode 13 of the All Drive No Drop podcast. David's back with me. Very excited to have him back. I don't like to be here alone. So, David, thank you for coming back. I know you didn't run away from me. Back in his studio, safe and sound, away from that cold winter. He was gallivanting around the world. How are you doing today?
Good, man. I'm glad to be back home. You know, it's pretty cold in Chicago. There's like times where I'm there and the wind is just like howling at your window. But it's nice to be back in Virginia.
I guess that's why they call it the Windy City.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, did you catch the episode last week by any chance?
I caught like bits and pieces of it while I was on the plane.
Yeah, I decided to talk about the whole Ripple situation, and I kind of realized it was going to be a little controversial, but I didn't realize how controversial it was going to be. But yeah, no update there. So I guess that's a new weekly segment, Ripple Watch. No news, no news.
You have like a countdown timer.
I should right here. Number of mentions or something. I don't know what we should put on there, but we got some cool stuff coming up that we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about on this episode, we're going to go over like all the holiday releases, whether they have come out already, haven't come out, just kind of briefly talk about each one, kind of do a little recap for the month of December, maybe going into January there. And then we're going to do a little buying guide. So if you're looking for that last minute Christmas present or holiday present, whatever you're celebrating for your pickleball friend or anyone, just give you a couple ideas through different price ranges, you know, in non-paddle stuff. And then we got a What the Pickle situation and a little Honolulu Pickleball update. Actually, why don't we just start out with that so I don't forget it, because I did forget to write that down. We'll just jump right into it. So Honolulu Pickleball update here for their next coming launches. They have the C2, and I actually have some more information on the C2, which is just their J2 shape, so their regular hybrid shape, but carbon fiber. It's not a Gen 1.5 paddle, like where it's not thermoformed. But so it's edge foam perimeter, unibody, and it's thermoformed, but they don't the process isn't as long, so it's not as rigid of a thermoforming. I don't know if do you know any other company that like discusses how long they thermoform their paddle or how long it sits in the mold? I don't think many people talk about that, or at least I had.
Yeah, I've just heard like, oh, it's in there for a few hours. I don't think anyone really like specifies it.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I played with it and I thought it was just a Gen 1.5, but it had more power and pop than I thought it would have. Like, I was like basing it on the Vatic Prism Flash, so I was like, oh wow, this is awesome, and it still had that softer feel. So I was like, oh, this is a great Gen 1.5, but I guess it is a Gen 2 paddle, but it's a lot softer feeling. But it still it's not as much like power and pop as a J2K, but not too far off. So if you really like that softer feel and you maybe like the Gen 1.5 paddles, but you're like, hey, I want a little bit more power and pop, I think this is going to be a cool option for people. I'm not sure exactly when it's coming out, but I would think the next week or two, they're kind of just waiting to see when their shipment's going to get there before they put it up for sale. And I think it's going to be around $100. Price point hasn't been nailed down, but yeah, so it's going to be a good contender for best paddle under 100.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're going to have that in carbon fiber, and they're going to have it in Kevlar. The Kevlar one's going to come later down the line. Kind of has a similar feel to the J2K, but just not as stiff, just because the thermoforming isn't as long. But the Kevlar still is on that, like, it's not like super stiff, but it is the same Kevlar, so has a similar feel to the J2K.
Yeah, that's definitely exciting, because like the J2 shape is definitely popular, and like putting that in like a kind of a Gen 1.5 feel is going to be good. I have my C2 upstairs. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm hoping I can bust it out next week. Okay.
Yeah, if you do, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I love that shape. Like, I know some people say that they don't have enough room for like two-handed backhand on it, but it's not a problem for me. And like my hands aren't like the smallest. And I mean, I guess I would say if you're not like a super two-handed backhand enthusiast, I don't see how it would be a problem. Do you ever have a problem using two hands?
No, Honestly, I can use a two-hander on like a 5-inch paddle, just like because the way I like pinch up. But
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I just don't like the shape.
I got you. We'll talk about. There's a very short handle paddle that we'll talk about later. But actually, I didn't really have much problem putting two hands on it. But yeah, so that's coming out, and then possibly in January their first power paddle will be coming out. So look out.
Is that the KC one?
No, the KC is the same as the C2, but just Kevlar. So it's thermoform paddle, but less time
Gotcha.
in the mold. I know the naming's kind of getting like messed up, and then the power paddle's naming scheme. We'll see what he'll stick with, but it follows a similar scheme. But yeah, that's all I have on that. Any notes on that or any questions?
No, this is actually I know you like talked about it the last episode. I think I didn't get a chance to get to the end, but yeah, I was gonna ask you about that since I do have both of them upstairs, just haven't had a chance to hit them yet.
Yeah, I liked them. I mean, definitely on the control side of things, but you could add weight to them, or if you really just like the soft feeling paddles, like I just amazing control. So
yeah, and it's like a good like Gen 1.5 option for them because right now they just have the Gen 2 paddles. So.
Exactly. So it's kind of it's interesting because like we don't really know who like different thermoforming times or like because I assume there's like a couple different factories doing it differently, and then like this one they did intentionally. So who knows how it compares with different processes, but interesting that they're trying some different stuff out there.
I do wonder if it does core crush it just becomes as powerful as a Gen 2. And not like anything rocket or anything like too powerful.
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume that having it less rigid would mean less chance of core crushing.
Yeah.
You would think? Just because it's not as stiff and not I don't know when it breaks easily. But I don't know. Like who knows? That's just my first thoughts.
We dang it a few times.
Yeah, we'll have to get out there and just smash it. Do a couple of your ernies and overheads and whatever. All right, so let's talk about the holiday paddle release guide here. Not the holiday paddle release guide, but like we're just talking about all of the holiday paddles that have come out. We're gonna start with the bread and butter Invader. Got that up here on the wall. If you're looking for like this kind of combos with like the presents, but like if you're looking to give like a really cool visual package that has a really good paddle, or if you're looking to just pick up something awesome for yourself, the bread and butter Invader is really, really cool. Great control oriented hybrid paddle that just plays really awesome with great spin, great sweet spot. I would say the power, it's lacking a little bit of power, but you can definitely add some weight, get the power up a little bit. Have you played a lot with the Invader yet? Or
yeah, I like that one. It's a really solid like all court style paddle. Leans a bit more towards the control side, but it's overall really good. I think it does need like some tape, like you mentioned, like on the sides, but definitely I think it's one of those paddles that a lot of people can pick up and just like have no problem with. So especially like you mentioned, the packaging is really nice. The hot sauce isn't too great, as you guys may have seen, but that's just our opinion. But the rest of the packaging is really great.
I saw some other opinions on the hot sauce, and I think every other opinion I've seen has been positive, and makes me question their what other food they like, because I don't think they've been doing a lot of hot sauce and spicy food tasting. I think if you ate spicy food, you would not like that hot sauce. If you're not a spicy food person, maybe the hot sauce is good. That's all I'll say on that. It's not good hot sauce. Yeah. Anyway, Core Shapeshifters, I think those launched yesterday.
Yeah, they came out
over the weekend. Yeah. Really, I've been playing with the SX. So they come in all three shapes. It's basically, like they revamped their shapeshifter, put it out in three shapes. The wide body is the SX, hybrid is the HX, and the elongate is the EX. I really like the SX. That's a lot of fun.
Interesting.
I know.
I dislike that one.
Oh, you dislike it? Oh,
yeah.
That was my favorite of the three. For some reason, I don't know. I played the best with it. I had the best control. I felt like they got good dwell time, and my resets are really good with it. I mean, I like the HX too, but yeah, the SX felt like I just liked how maneuverable it is. I like the shape too. But yeah, which one was your favorite, or did you not like them at all?
No, I actually really like that.
Okay.
I really like the HX. That's like one of my top paddles right now.
I thought you don't like the hybrid.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, because it's like 16.2 and like it's like that flat top and it flares down, it reminds me of a standard. So I think I like it better than a lot of like standard shape paddles. Okay. So I like that HX option, and then the SX I think is just too short. I was just like not playing well with it, but I played really well with the HX. Really like that one. EX is second.
So you like hybrids that are 16.2 flat top. That's kind of what I think we're learning right now.
I like that because they just pushed that balance point higher, and then I just added a bit more tape on the sides, and the HX just felt really good for me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, great series. What is it, 153 or something, I think, after a coach, something like that?
Yeah, like 154, 159, somewhere right there.
In the 150s. They did lower the price. Yeah. So cool. I mean, like, I think it's cool having the 18K. Those always look cool. There's really not too many of those paddles. I know there's a few more. Before it was really just Diadem that had it, but now there's a couple. But yeah, the good looking paddle right there. Where's it? Right there. Looks good. Plays well. Great price. So that's another one. Fun one. Those are all pretty much like all court style paddles, I would say.
Yeah.
Next, Chorus Fire. I think we both released a review on this. This one's like seems a little controversial in the different takes, I would say. Like there's a wide range of takes on it. I think our views kind of align similarly. Like they're stiffer. Not like the most power stock because they are light. Really needs the weight to get to, like getting more power. They look really good. I think there are good paddles. It's just I really think you need to add weight. I saw people say you don't need to add weight and they play perfectly. I disagree. No, I disagree. I don't think that's right. I don't know, like if some people just didn't have experience with different paddles or they just played well with it. I think the sweet spot is like average to sub average. But I much prefer the Shapeshifter line to the Fire line. I think.
I agree. But also, like, I think anyone that like says you don't need to add tape to a 14 millimeter, you must like be really good, have really good accuracy, just can somehow always hit the sweet spot there. That's pretty difficult.
I would also agree. I can't think of a 14 millimeter that I've enjoyed stock. It's just I don't know. Like, you just need some weight on it. I actually saw someone playing with a Power Air, but they were new to pickleball. And I was like, oh, you got to put some weight on it. I was like, that thing stock is so bad. I'm like, and I'm trying to explain. I'm like, okay, how do I explain this to someone that is like, they were a really good tennis player, and so they just probably got recommended it, or Selkirk's probably the first thing that came up. But I was like, oh, I'm like, I had some extra like weight. I'm like, here, like, go experiment with this. I'm like, you need to put that weight on that Power Air because it's so bad without weight. It feels so bad. Yeah. Next up, we got the Aiso Ryu, which I do have somewhere. Hold on, I got it. Boom. Really good looking paddle, right? So we already talked about this 15 millimeter wide body. What is it? Do you know the price on this? 90?
It's 90, which is really great.
Amazing.
After a discount code, yeah.
Yeah, amazing price. What is this? This is a polyester carbon fiber, right?
Yeah, I think it's that, and then like 2 layers of carbon fiber, and then fiberglass at the bottom. So like 4 layers.
And we already talked about this, but apparently we talked about it too soon, so I had to cut it out. But I'll let David go first on this one. This is my first ISO paddle. I think you've done at least one before on them, though, right?
They had one. They had the Centric. That was like a $90 hybrid, which is also really good. But this one, I think it's really similar to the feel, not the feel, but the balance and of like an Apollo, just because it's very like stable all the way through. It's one of these paddles like really big sweet spot, and if I had to describe it in like one sense, just it would be a juiced up Apollo. It's just like that same feel. It doesn't have the vibrations, but it's like stiffer, more power, more pop, and similar sweet spot, even though it's like a 15 millimeter. And I think that's because they targeted that weight here at the 4 and 8 positions. They added, it's like the Gen 3 style, but they added like the foam layer here and here, not like all the way around. So it doesn't really do too much power, but it makes the paddle very stable. Like for me, my twist weight was like 7.85 or something, which is the highest I've ever measured. I don't know what, like, what did you get on yours? If you
I think mine was like 7.7, but yeah, that's it. It's definitely the highest I've ever gotten for a stock
15
paddle.
millimeter too.
Yeah. I think it, like, if I would have got to play with this even more, I think it could have challenged for like the best paddle under 100. Like this is really good. Best design under 100 for me for sure. Like I love this design. It looks cool. Yeah, it's a great one. This is definitely one that if you have a friend that's just like getting into pickleball or getting a little bit more serious, and you wanted to get him a paddle and you wanted it to look cool and be really good, I have no problems recommending this one. Yeah, great one from Aiso. Hopefully we'll see some more stuff. You know, maybe give us a hybrid of this.
Do you know when the review?
I think it's already out. Is it? I think it's already out. Or it's, I don't remember, because the thing is they sent me a date originally. They're like, hey, you can talk about this like whenever we recorded the podcast where we were talking about it. They told me we could talk about it, but then they sent me an email saying like, don't talk about it. And I'm like, I can't keep track of all these dates now, because then they sent me different dates for the launch. I think it's out though.
Okay, we'll get started on the room. But yeah, I'm a fan of this one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's not out yet. It's coming out like very soon, but I think they said maybe December 15th. What is today? The 15th. I don't know.
Maybe it came out early. We missed it.
Okay, hold on. I'll check. Let's go to the next paddle. I'll check on that date. It's a next paddle, Diadem Infinity Icon. In this one they have it elongated, but this one is their wide body. Or wait, you didn't play this one though, did you? You got a different one?
No, I did get the same one.
You got this one. Okay.
Yeah, I figured I would just get the same one as you.
Okay, for some reason I thought in my head you got a different one, but did you play it?
I was debating it, but because we both had those options, I was like, I'll just copy what Jacob does.
Okay. I figured I thought the tech that they had in it would perform a lot better in a wide body, so I was curious to try it out. I didn't realize the wide body was so this one behind me, the Diadem Icon Infinity Max. Max is their wide body shape. They did their 18K in a wide body as well. I think it's 15.67 inches is what the length is. So super short. Honestly, I didn't really have any issues when I was playing with it being that short though. And the handle's really short too. I think it is sub 5 inches, or it is 5 inches. Still was able to put two hands on it for two-handed backhands, but it's just super maneuverable, and like having that wide, it's actually not super wide. I guess it's almost 8.2 inches. There's some other paddles out there that are similar width, but I didn't, with the length being a little shorter than average for a wide body, I didn't have any problems with it being shorter. Felt really good. Felt like it had like better pop and power than the elongated. I know. I don't know, but now I'm thinking like, you know, any of these foam paddles, I'm like, could it come like pre-broken in somehow, or like just different density of foam? You know, like I'm always wondering about that. How that could work. What was your experience with it, or did you try it yet?
No, it came to my house while I was out of town, and then I had one of my interns pick it up, so they've been using it. I think they tried it out and said it was fine.
Yeah. Fair enough. But yeah, I liked it quite a lot bit more than I thought I was gonna like it. But yeah,
better. You like it better than the elongated one?
Yeah, I like it better than the elongated one. It was a lot of fun, and I played really well with it. So good things there. That one is already out. So next up, Vatic Sagas, just a great series of paddles. They got the hybrids with 5.3 and 5.7 inch handles, elongated, two with the 5.3 and 5.7 inch handles. Not too poppy, great soft feeling. They're the non-thermoformed paddles. Is it the black core? Black polypropylene core. I don't know if it's black, but
I don't think it's that one.
It's not that one, but like a harder hitting Gen 1.5 paddle, basically.
Yeah, it's just like a juiced up Prism.
Yeah. So, I mean, a great paddle if you want controllability, but you still want good power.
I would say on this list, that's probably the most unique feeling one, I would say, out of everyone there. So,
yeah. I would say that I won't see any reason you couldn't get that for someone that you weren't sure what paddle they wanted either. I think anyone could play well with it. I don't know. But yeah, one of my favorites on the list for sure that we're talking about. And then GRUVN finally, or did you have anything else to say about the Sagas?
No, that's nothing else.
Last one, GRUVN Laser 16 HD, GRUVN's first hybrid paddle. Only took him 3 years. Sorry, Kevin. But that will be coming out relatively soon, before the end of the year. It is similar to their Laser 16S and their elongated laser, basically that carbon fiber Kevlar weave. So I imagine it's going to be a little stiffer, poppier. So if you like either of those but are looking for the hybrid version, it's coming out soon. That's it on the paddles that have released now. Some things that are coming out. The Carbon True Foam's coming out soon. We will hopefully be hitting that soon. And then 11Six24 power paddles are coming out in February, so that's, I guess, a little bit of ways away. Ripples, we don't know. I don't know. Yola, haven't heard anything from them lately. Guess 3S.
They're probably busy with the lawsuit or something.
Yeah, lawsuit and 3S are just selling, so whatever. Besides that, I don't think anything else on the radar. I know Vatic is going to do a wide body of their Sagas. Yeah. Anything else on the radar?
Nothing I can think of yet. Yeah. The only one I was really thinking about is the 11Six24 ones, and then maybe the Ripple. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. We'll stay tuned. Stay tuned for more Ripple Watch. All right. So, buying guide. If you're looking to get something for your family or friend, if you're here and you're not a pickleball player, but you're trying to get that present for the pickleball person in your life, we're going to give you some quick options, easy options. First, we'll start with balls. Balls can be a little hard because different people prefer different balls. So I would say if you can find out, you just ask, like, hey, what balls do you usually play with? Or, like, ask like you're curious about pickleball and say, like, what balls should I get? But really, I would say, like, the safest option, you get the Franklin X40s. If they're not, like, if they're a hardcore tournament player, I would say don't get the Franklin X40s because they're probably playing with, like, Duras or Vulcans.
Oh, do you guys use that more there in Michigan? Because we still use the X40s.
Oh, for tournaments?
Yeah.
They do sometimes, but I would say now, so there's tournaments at Lifetime. They use the Lifetime ball. There's tournaments at, like, these bigger tournaments. They're using either the Vulcan or the Dura. And then, like, some of the smaller tournaments are using Franklin. So it's kind of like a mix. But I would say, like, preferred ball of choice, like, in the higher level stuff, like 4550, they never use Franklins. They want to use Duras or Vulcans or Lifetimes because they're playing tournaments. So if you know that your friend or family member isn't playing tournaments, I would just go get the Franklins. Yeah. If they are tournament players, I guess I would just avoid the balls because we have some other recommendations that they would for sure use. So Franklin X40s, just go get them. Any other ball comments?
No, I was just gonna say X40.
Okay, that's probably the safe way to go.
Yeah, it's the safest one. Like, even in rec play, a lot of people just use that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that one's fine.
Yep. Yeah. Next up for all non pickleball items, tungsten tape. So basically, this is used to, like, modify your paddle and weight it up. I use the Bodhi tungsten tape. They have it in 0.5 gram or 1 gram per inch strips. And then grips. Tons of different grips out there. I use the Bodhi grips. They're just, they're a good enough tackiness that I like. But that's what I recommend. So, like, grips sometimes can be a personal preference. A lot of times, I would say people are indifferent. But weight, I would say, like, all the a lot of hardcore players, they're using the weight.
Yeah.
And even if it's not their preferred weight, they'll use the weight because like weight's weight, right? Like it's going to be on the paddle. That one for sure, I can guarantee. Like any tournament players or any hardcore players in your life will appreciate the weight.
Yeah.
And what do you think about grips? Is that a safe one to give, or is that like?
Yeah, now that I think about it, I think that's more personal preference.
Yeah.
Because like for me, I'm not picky, so I use like the ADV grips or whatever. That's the one I've used the most of. But if a company sends me grips, I'll just use it, and honestly, they're all fine. Like I've used the Selkirk ones, the bread and butter ones, and I'm not picky at all. But you know, like you said, weight is really good. Tungsten, I would say, is preferred because it is like the safer material, even though it's more expensive than lead. Personally, right now I'm using that pickleball effect one.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the Bodie's one yet, but the pickleball effect is really nice.
Yeah, I've switched to using tungsten for the most part. Sometimes, like if someone sends me pre-cut lead strips, I'll use them just because those are it's easy to put on. But I prefer using tungsten just because, like, you know, I've seen different stories about like lead poisoning from people like handling their lead from the paddles too much and like feeling sick. So I'm like, we'll just keep the tungsten and play it safe. You know, I don't want to get sick or anything from not messing with my paddles. And then
you got kids at home too.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. You don't want your kids to get a hold of the lead, and who knows what they could do with it. So yeah, safe to get the tungsten, and I think for the most part, like some people have preference on grips, but I think if you're looking for like a cool addition to add, like it's fine. Last one for like a big baller option, you're looking to drop some money on this person, you love them a lot. Dinkmaster Pro from Enhanced Pickleball. We're talking like $350 to $400 depending on the sale. But yeah, that's a fun option. I guess make sure they have room for it too, though. You know, it's a little bit bigger. Basically, it's a movable board that they can practice with either in their basement or if they have a room in their house or in their garage outside. They can practice their skills for pickleball.
Oh, I got one more actually.
Go ahead.
The sweet spot trainers. I think that's like a fun addition to like anyone can like use that for fun. I think Thrive's got one, Yobi has one, and Franklin has one. But they're all pretty solid options.
Yep. You're talking about the sweet spot training paddles, right?
Yeah, those small ones.
Yeah, basically just small paddles. Helps you work on consistency in your shot. So that's all any other non-pickleball items. I mean,
those are all the ones I was thinking about.
Yeah, so some options to throw in there, and then we have some like paddle suggestions if you want to get someone to paddle. If they're like a really hardcore player and they've been playing for years now, I wouldn't get them a paddle. If they are recent, like within the last year, and they're getting more serious, I think this would be a good time to get them, like a more premium paddle. And this is kind of what that list is geared towards. If you're looking to get someone to paddle. So first up, we had Friday. Did you want to talk about the Fridays?
Yeah, I think that's like my favorite beginner paddle recommendation. Is just that 2 for $100 deal. They're thermoform paddles. I would say this is more for like people that are not like too serious about the sport yet. Like they've maybe tried it out or like want their first like serious paddle, or even if they just want their first paddle in general because they're like colorful, and it's just a good deal. And they're just 2 thermoform paddles. The only downside is that because it's only in the elongated shape. But I think if you're just like trying to learn the sport, this is like a really good first paddle to pick up.
Yeah, but that's in the price point is it still 2 for $100? I think so. I mean,
so they have the pink grip one that's 2 for $100, and then I think it's 2 for $150 for their raw carbon fiber surface. Okay.
Yep. So good options there. Then we got the Vatic Prism. They have it in a hybrid and elongated. I guess if you're looking, you don't know anything about pickleball, get them I'll get them the hybrid, the Prism Flash, 16 millimeter. Yep. Then 11.
Also, short handle one. I would recommend short handle over the long handle.
Oh, good. Yeah, good point. I forgot they have all these variations. Yeah, Vatic Prism Flash, 16 millimeter, SH. I think would be the Yep. Get them that. Next up, we got the 11Six24. I guess will be called the Jelly Bean Pegasus now. Really good one. Going to be like $90 after a discount.
The Hirachi's out. I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know if it's out, but if we're talking about like we don't know anything about the person, I would still I would get them the jelly bean.
Yeah.
And the shape, if they have the vapor, I would get the vapor. If not, get them the Pegasus.
Yeah.
And then, as we already talked about, the Aiso Ryu would be another great choice to get them. So, like, if you know, they'd be more of a fan of these graphics and the performance is really good, that would be a good option as well. And then the Gherkins, the $100 Gherkins. And they got those.
They got all three. Yeah.
Which one was your favorite?
I like the elongated one the best. I don't like that standard like flat top shape that much, so which is why I didn't like that one. The hybrid's okay, but I think the elongated one, that one just feels really nice.
Gotcha. Yeah, so a lot of good options for the paddles. And then if you wanted to go over 100 and you weren't or you just wanted, we're like, what's the best paddle to get, and you're not really sure anything about pickleball, we decided there's two options: bread and butter Invader, which we talked about, and you wanted to, that one, really good paddle. You want to go for the good packaging look, and it just looks really good. It's already basically like a present wrapped up in the box. It's got the papers, stickers, beer koozie. It looks really good presentation. Good paddle, as we talked about. And then another one, not as good presentation and graphics, but personally, in my opinion, like a better paddle for more people. Not that the bread and butter Invader is not. I think it's a good paddle for a lot of people, but like I would give the slight edge to the Honolulu J2 Ti, and it's cheaper. It's $139, and the bread and butter Invader is $162. So both really good paddles if you're looking to just get a premium paddle for someone.
Both of those are just paddles that are like anyone could pick up and use. They're just like, I don't think anyone would like take that paddle and like be unhappy with it. They're like, oh, I could definitely find a use for it. So I think anyone could use that paddles or both of these paddles.
Yep, I agree. Any other paddles you would throw out there?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I didn't think too much on this. I put those two on the list.
No worries. I think we probably less is more in this situation. Don't want to give too many suggestions. So I think that's good. Yeah. Let's move on to our next segment. And of course, if you have any questions, any more comments, drop them in the comments. What the Pickle? This is actually David's What the Pickle, so I'm gonna let him just go wild on it. What the Pickle, David? What's your
So as you guys know, when we work with a company, we set up our discount code, and they ask you what do you want. Jacob's got his that he typically uses for every brand. I've got mine. Chris has his for PB Studio. Brandon's got the Pickleball Effect one. So mine is the DMVPBALL one. That's the one because I live in the DMV area. I just kind of thought of that. What's funny was there's a company, I won't say what the name was, but I went to sign up with it. And I asked them if I could use my normal discount code to keep it consistent across all the brands. And then I get told that one's already been taken. And I was just thinking, that is the complete most random thing. Like, who would think about the one discount code that I've been using? You're a brand new company. How is that already gone? Kind of got me thinking someone could, and I hope no one does this who is listening to this, like do this to like Chris or someone that's like bigger name, and they just assume like, oh, when people buy something, they just automatically put in like PB Studio. And I was like, man, this got me thinking people could just be stealing our codes out there if they hopped on company first. I don't know. We probably shouldn't have mentioned this now that I think about it, but I just thought it was curious when it happened to me last week. I was like, oh, wow, someone took my code. Okay.
Well, did they remedy the situation for you, or what was the result?
It's a smaller company, so I just don't care too much. Like a lot of these smaller brands, it's like I don't really sell too much of them because there's not really much of a market for them, and I'm just kind of helping them out. But it was just kind of curious that it happened that way.
Yeah. I've had it happen a couple times, and like if it's something that I'm like I don't know how popular it'll be, I'm like, all right, well we'll just do a new code. But there was like two that I really wanted, and they like I guess I've had this problem a little bit too much, And one changed it for me, and they made the other person change theirs. The other person or the other company would not change it for me, and still don't have so they still have my code for the company, but it's not mine. So
Oh man.
I know it's frustrating because I'm like, if it happened to someone higher up, they probably get their code changed instantly. But what can you do? It's like it's an interesting space. Like I didn't really even know about affiliate stuff before I started seeing like the pickleball stuff happening. So I still don't know like what to make of it all. But if you're out there and you want to start making content, like just go with your own brand name. That's all I'm saying. Like start your own brand, and don't try to steal other people's brands. We put a lot of hard work into this stuff and put a lot of time. So, and obviously we on here we give our honest opinions. I would say we give more like criticism than anywhere else, right? Like on paddles we really just air it out on our thoughts. I definitely we need to get Farmer Lanky on here because he probably is. I don't know. Is anyone rip paddles harder than him? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I think he probably goes the hardest. So I'd love to have him get his hot takes on here too. That'd be a fun one. Just let him air it all out. But yeah, that's really what the pickle. I had something else. I can't remember now. But must not. Maybe I'll save it for next week if I remember it. Anything else going on in pickleball, the landscape? Anything coming up for you?
I have the Vapor if we want to talk about that.
Oh yeah, sure. The Vapor Power Pad or 11Six24 Vapor.
I tried. So I've got all three. I've got the Hirachi, that's elongated, the Pegasus, and then the Vapor. I haven't hit the Hirachi yet, mainly because I've got my men's league on tomorrow, and I need to like kind of get my game ready since it's playoffs tomorrow. But mainly hit the Pegasus and the Vapor. So I think I had probably about like 5 hours with them throughout the week.
Okay.
I think first thoughts, they feel very, very similar to the Yola mods. Like they sound like them, and people are like, that sounds like the Gen 3.
Really? Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, but they feel, I think you get a bit more dwell time. Like they're more controllable. I would say they're like a controllable Yola mod, but they're still like definitely power paddles.
Oh. So do you know how the construction's done?
No,
okay.
I just kind of hit them blindly.
Interesting.
Between the two, I actually like the Pegasus better.
Okay.
The Vapor I wanted to like. I think I noticeably get more power with that one. I think I have more of a trampoline effect with it when I hit the sweet spot. But the issue with the Vapor, I think, since it's a new shape, and I've hit both of them, I was hitting them stock. I didn't add any weight to them. But the Vapor, I think there's like a big drop off between like the top of the paddle and the bottom. So like I was having like a really tough time hitting like resets because like when I hit the top, like I was getting a lot of power. Then when I hit the bottom, like not like the bottom, but like closer to the bottom, it was just like a sharper drop that I wasn't expecting. I think obviously I just need to add some like tape there, kind of just bump the stability up a bit. But right now, I like the sweet spot on the Pegasus a lot better. Obviously, that's the shape for the better sweet spot, but I think they just overall, like the Pegasus is a bit stiffer feeling, but I just like more consistent with it. So I think that's what I'm using.
Did you experience the same thing on the Pegasus where like towards the top it had a lot more power than towards the bottom, or was the effect just not as noticeable?
It just wasn't as drastic. For the Vapor, it just felt like, I think it's also just like the shape of it. It's kind of, as you can see, it's kind of like this. I know like he wanted it to have like more power up here at the top, like more the weight distribution. But I think the bottom kind of like suffered a bit. Like it's like the complete opposite of like a J2 Ti, like that J2 shape.
Yeah.
But I definitely need to add some tape to it, which I just did, but I haven't really experimented too much with it. I think I need a bit more down here, honestly.
Okay. Interesting. Do you know the swing weights on those too, or?
Yes. I think it was 114 for the Vapor, and I think Pegasus, I had this written down. I think it was like 109, I want to say. 109, somewhere around there.
So around what you would expect for the shapes. Yeah. So this is completely different than the Alpha, right? Like this is a different construction.
Yeah, it feels completely different. Yeah.
Interesting. So they're pretty like. Would you say the pop level is like not as extreme as the mod? Like how much difference would you say if you had to put it into words?
The thing that's like the most similar is like the feel. It's got like that hollowish feel to it when you're hitting it. But pop wise, I would say it's probably similar to it.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's definitely not like Ripple level.
Not
I had the production Ripple next to it, and that one was like way harder.
Okay, wow. I guess I was expecting these to be like. I guess in my mind, I thought these were like the finished alpha, but I guess I was just not paying attention. Like I thought it was like this is the alpha, but this is like the finished version, but this is like a completely different thing. So interesting. I hope to try them soon. That sounds like a fun one.
Yeah, I brought them out, and I think people were literally like drooling at me.
They wanted to get them?
Like, warmed around me, and I was like taking the plastic wrap off the handle because I just got back from Chicago, and I was like, and they're like, can I try it? I was like, I haven't even opened it yet.
people are definitely hungry for these. I've had people hit me up to try these. I've had a lot of people hit me up to try some paddles lately, and those have definitely been on the top of the list. And they don't come out until February, so people got some wait time unless they know a local reviewer or local 11Six24 Pro. I think are the only people that really have them right now. So, all right, good. Did you say you're playing with it in your men's league, or you're playing with something else?
So I was kind of debating between it. Our men's league is pretty high level. Like there are actually some 11Six24 signed pros in there.
Okay.
I think some Selkirk ones in there too. But I think I was deciding between the Aiso Ryu. That was going to be my safe option. Like if I couldn't find a paddle I liked, I was going to use the Ryu. And then the other options were Flare Prime X, and then Pegasus, the Vapor, and then the Luz Archer. I think I've talked about that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
You really got it narrowed down.
Yeah, I played with the Luz. No, it was 2 weeks ago. I brought up the Olympus, and I played like garbage. I just missing every single counter. I switched to the Archer, and then I don't know. I just played a lot better. So I was thinking about it, but then I think it was between the Ryu and the Pegasus, and I think I'm gonna go with the Pegasus after today's session. I just played with earlier. Also, just ripping their clothes right now.
I honestly didn't even notice that.
I got like that little hoodie.
Hold up, 11Six24. I'm gonna have to blur that out, or you're gonna have to pay for this. Oh no! All right. He's not biased, guys. I promise. Okay. Well,
I paid for this shirt.
Okay. How is it? Is it pretty good? Comfortable?
Yeah, it's like a shirt, and then with like a hood on it. So,
okay. I like those. I like the long sleeves with the hoodies. Yeah. Okay. I know everyone's interested in those 11Six24 power, so we'll probably give more of update next week after you hit them more. I know that the stock is running thin, so hopefully I'll be able to try them within the next couple of weeks. But those look interesting, and I think those might be like, we'll see how hot of a seller they are. Because I'm sure by the time they come out, we'll have a few other launches, but it sounds like there's some fun stuff coming out.
I was actually trying another power paddle, but I can't say who it was.
Okay. We'll save that for the after the show meeting. And hopefully it'll give you some good stuff. I think we got some exciting stuff. I don't know if we're going to be recording. Maybe we'll miss an episode here during the Christmas holidays. We'll see. Maybe we'll be here no matter what. I don't know. Anything else on your mind that you're looking to talk about? I don't think I have anything else. No tournaments upcoming for me. Best paddle video coming out probably 2 days after you see this podcast. So I've been working on that, and I don't know if I have any other individual reviews coming out. Probably not the rest of the year. I don't think so. I think just the best paddles video in the podcast right now. Anything coming up for you?
Yeah, I'm doing that Velo paddle, the one from Michigan, and then I have Luz, the Aiso Ryu, I think the Gherkins. I think that's 4 I'll probably do before the end of the year, and then best paddles. I think that's everything.
Okay, so just 5 videos in the next 2 weeks you gotta do, right? That's it?
Yeah, I was gonna do it last week, but I recorded everything. I just been lazy about releasing it.
Oh, you already got everything ready to go. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were. I was like, man, that's a lot of work. I'm already tired just thinking about all that stuff you gotta do.
Oh, and I'm also shooting a training video for a facility. They got a new pro shop. It's my friend's the director there.
Oh, okay.
They got a new pro shop. They partnered with Pickleball Central, and they have like a lot new inventory. They're no longer just selling Yola paddles. And then he was kind of asking me about them, and then I was like telling him everything. He was like, hey, actually, can you shoot a video and like train my employees? I was like, all right, I got you.
Oh, so like you're training them to talk about pickleball paddles, or?
Yeah. So I'm just kind of shooting a video based talking about like construction, shapes, core thicknesses, like the difference between those, and then like talking about each paddle itself, like a little one-liner about it, because they got like a lot new inventory, and just so they can kind of reference it, so when they try to sell paddles, it'll help them out.
Okay, nice. A little consulting action going on. I like it.
Maybe I'll release it to the public. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I could see you like a guide to how to pick a paddle or something. You know, something like an intro thing. It seems like a good idea, especially as I think when I first started, there used to be a lot of those, but you know, there's been a lot of stuff going on lately that I think could be incorporated into it. That I don't think anyone's really done anything recently on that. So cool. That'll be interesting. Is it going to be up? Like, do they have a YouTube, or is this like internal use?
Probably internal use. I'll probably like upload it to YouTube, make it unlisted, and then like just share it out with them, and I'll see what the reaction is.
Okay. All right. Well, if you want me to roast you or compliment you, send it this way. I'm interested. Yeah, I definitely could see that happening, because like I don't know how many sales these facilities do, because obviously we're not. I've never bought a paddle at the facility. And I'm guessing you haven't either. So
no.
I don't, and I know most of the people I know aren't. I don't think they're probably buying it, because I don't think the facilities probably get the best deals, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm gonna go ask. Next time at Lifetime. But they only sell like Yola and Selkirk. But I'm just gonna be like, yo, what's the price on these? Just to find out what kind of deals they get there.
They don't really get deals.
No deals. Okay. Yeah, because I know at one of the Lifetimes, someone was getting in trouble. They were a Yola dealer, and they were selling. I think Yolas cost like $280 for the Gen 3s, and he was selling them for $225. So they got mad at him, because I don't think they could compete with that price point, or want to compete with that price point. Yeah. So some of the facilities. I mean, obviously, you probably shouldn't be like selling the paddles in the facility, but like, in the parking lot, like, can you really stop someone from selling them? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like a big trench coat, like
I got what do you need? You need a Pegasus, or what? Not Pegasus, a Perseus. Sorry, names are all close now. Now that I'm sure people are gonna get confused when you say Pegasus, they're gonna think it's a Yola. But hey, the name's out. Name's not trademark. You can go for it. So, yeah, that's all I've got. Sounds like you've got a busy December coming up, and I guess that's it. We'll catch everyone later. Catch you next time.
Yeah, see you guys.
See you.